This is the home of Benjamin Chew.
There's a lot going on here. We have a lot of new research. There's things that we know today that we didn't know last week, and things we know last week that we didn't know 2 years ago.
Of course, the Battle of Germantown took place here. That's historians' delight.
It turns out that the Chews that owned Cliveden, which is one of the wealthiest families in Pennsylvania.
We'll have to give more information to the public, of course, as to what that involved.
Was wealthy in large measure because of their prominence in plantation owning in Delaware and Maryland.
Chews evidently turned out to be the largest slave owners in the state of Pennsylvania.
They owned as many as 100 slaves early in the 1800s.
They brought all of Mr. Chew's papers up here and stored them, and they were stored right in this room here.
What's very interesting is the Chews never threw any documents away, and we're able to find out more about this deep and sad history related to Cliveden and the meaning of Cliveden in the documents that are at the Historical Society of Pennsylvania.
Right up front here in the center, for everybody that comes through the door, the first thing that we want them to see is that we are performing ongoing research. It appears right now we know about 7 or 8 plantations that he owned. Here's something we just added to this.
We talk about the nature of what a founding father really is by exploring one very prominent African American who was born a slave to the Chews, that being Richard Allen.
And he had roughly 60 enslaved workers and children at that particular plantation.
We talk about the role of some of the Chews in compelling stories related to emancipation and abolition.
There was one story about one slave who came up here with Harriet Chew. She brought a slave called Chastity with her, and Chastity wanted her freedom, and there was some problems about that.
This was the story of an enslaved woman owned by the Chews who sued for freedom so that she didn't have to go back to Maryland. We don't understand the full implications of the stories just yet.
So while you've heard a lot about how the papers reveal issues of slavery and servitude, there's also other interesting things in there. For example, we just found a series of papers that talks about a seance that the Chews had here in the house. We've done programs on the trees here, or on the religious side of things, or on the supernatural side of things.
We're just using the grounds a lot more for generating interest in the community.
Anywhere from 200 to 400 reenactors that come here and redo the Battle of Germantown.
Brings probably more people than anything else, and it's very well done.
Mount Airy Days, the other big event here, that's in May. Lots of times there are lectures and stuff in the Carey's house.
Many vendors and different programs by local artistic groups.
We definitely like to make it more oriented towards our community members right here in Germantown.
And we think we have the opportunity, as we find out more about the site, to make it more exciting.
New media type of approaches have been very successful for us. We now get a lot of people who find out about events on Facebook, on MySpace.
If we do our jobs well, we'll probably have a little bit of something to challenge and potentially offend a variety of audiences. And in a way, that's what a historic site ought to do. It ought to make people think in ways that consider their own role and their own sense of what the past means.
What we'd like to see within the next 5 years is a more interactive and diverse tour experience.